俺は己に問うた。無意に生きるのか、刹那に散るのか。
正門様、凱旋をお待ちしてます。
ああ、俺についてこい。この足かせを共に断ち切ろう。太陽は再び昇る。自由を勝ち取ったこの邪馬台国に。全ては分け隔てのない常世の国のために。しかし輝けば輝くほど影もまた深くなっていく。
暴虐なのは貴様を蝕む呪いか、それとも己が心に潜む真実か。
平将門が怨霊と化している。かつての彼を呼び覚まさねば。目を覚ませ、平将門。
正門様。
崩れゆく過去と秩序、全ては俺の咎だ。
この苦痛こそ常世の国への礎となるのだ。
いいな、全てを支配できると語った末路だ。
貴様は戦の申し無益な戦順をせよ。
彼はもがいている。あともう少しで己を取り戻す平将門。
影に光を食わせるものか。分け隔てのない国のためと信じ戦い続けてきた。気づけばその思いを忘れていた。だから決別しよう。この血と戦火を招く瞳なると。もっと早く気づくべきだった。この黒き本、俺がもたらした災いならば俺が葬ってやろう。
永遠に眠れる兵士の英雄にして罪深き者よ。
まさか
生命様。
従う者は生かし、逆らう者は切り捨てる。人々を縛る業の枷、灼熱の火で焼き尽くされる。貴様は私の目をならば今度は私が貴様の名を奪う。分け隔てのない平等な国をこの手で築いてみせよう。従う者は生かし、逆らう者は切り捨てる。心配するな。今日を脅かす者はこの俺が全てなぎ払う。全て戦いをもって戦いを終わらせ、永遠の平和を築くための犠牲に過ぎ 征服は安寧を得るためのものか。安寧の名のもとで終わらない殺戮を繰り返しているだけではないのか。奴らの憧れは偽り、還元は愚論だ。真の秩序、全てを征服した者だけが築ける。俺は彼らの期待と信頼を裏切ってしまった。俺は倒されるべきだ。弾が歩みを止めた瞬間、これまで築き上げた平和は崩れ去る。常世の国はたちまち水の泡だ。もはや誰にも止められない。貴様は月の欲望と果てぬ野望そのものだ。ああ、俺は勝利の味に酔っていた。人間一人の意志で世界の在り方を決められるものか。平将門よ、貴様は考えたことがあるか。私もまた貴様なのだ。これで終わろうとも。俺は己の手で決着をつけてやる。大国主。
ほーい、帰ろうぜマサカロ。
ああ、帰ろっか。
I know this is a very super late upload, but these events are going by super fast. I mean, every month we get an event, and the Yoshihime event is already over, so I am like super behind in posting skins, posting Decisive Hunt, posting the debut of You Are Yoshihime, and by the time I get done with this, we're gonna have like the debut of SP Chocho, and it's like I can't keep up. It's like, oh my goodness, calm down, Onmyoji. I mean, we could have y'all. Can you like go a month without an event so we can catch up with not only uploading the stuff but also accumulating enough jade and mystery amulets to summon the characters. I mean, my goodness, like, I'm never ready. As soon as I get up to about 60, it's like I can't go no further with trying to get a new character because you're always coming out with the next event. Let the kitties breathe. My goodness.
Where Futsunomitana points, all shackles meet their slash, all conquest bring freedom. When conflict arises, I am the war-ending legion. Follow this swallowtail banner and join my quest for an eternal paradise without hierarchies.
今一度燃え上がる。自由の代償が我が血ならば。
The past flames fade away, yet my heart still burns, and my rebellion never ceases. When the swallowtail butterfly flutters its wings, the tiger clan shall return.
The outskirts of Heian-Kyo. The Futonomitama still hummed the blood-red light bursting forth, shooting like an arrow toward its former master. The shattered shell of the once fallen sun hunter slowly began to move. Behind him, a colossal figure wreathed in flames, its eyes glowing red, rose from the horizon. Taira no Masakado spread his 5 fingers and caught the airborne Kusunomikami in one swift motion. It's been a long time. The divine artifact shone brilliantly in his hands, and the ancient sun once again rose above Hail Killer. Sadanamasakata bowed his head, gazing at his former followers stationed outside Hail Killer. The Titan's iron wall, well done. The returning king before him, his aura and tone both felt unfamiliar. But over the long years by the Sanzu River, hasn't he completely changed his appearance as well? Lord Kaido no Masakado, I request permission to fight. Ha! It's you. No need to charge with me. You and Futsunomitama have already held them off for quite some time. After this, all you need to do is keep this unjust city under tight siege. This is the new battlefield. Now it's my turn to wield this blood-soaked divine weapon and seek justice for the battles of the past. Meanwhile, at the Minamoto residence, when the Dharma form rose, all of Hirokyō trembled. No matter where you were in the city, you could clearly see that Oni dying sign in the sky. He has already arrived. What drives him now is a cold hatred that does not belong to him. This time, he will point his sword at all of Hirokyō. Kaido no Masakado has declared vengeance against the three great clans, and surely the first target would be the Minamoto clan who stood in the way of his ambition. The Minamoto clan of today is even stronger than it was 100 years ago, united as one. The Minamoto clan would not fear battle. Kaido no Masakado did not come alone. Odakuda and the former Taita clan members who have become skeletons are still lingering outside Hirokyō. Whether we fight or not, we need to come up with a plan first. Submit, in your opinion, how do we break this deadlock? Even with the bow fully drawn, the celestial arrow can't hit that giant on the horizon. What about Minamoto's ghost armory? It's hard to get close. Now, Kaido no Masakado seems to have completely lost his sanity, which means the seal he placed on the usurper god of Kodorishi is now in danger. His power can't be resisted by ordinary means, and the usurper god could break free from the seal at any moment, bringing new threats.
Look, up in the sky.
The crowd looked up at the sky, the heavens gradually darkened, and suddenly 2 suns rose in the firmament.
I'm shocked they used that word.
But if you look closely, you'll see that the side, the real sun, is actually Kaido no Masakado, holding Futsunomi Kama suspended in the sky. Blood-red light swirled around him, making him as fearsome as an ominous celestial phenomenon. Kaido no Masakado swung his spear, and 6 pitch black shadows stretched out beneath his feet, gradually transforming into 6 phantoms that closely resembled him. As soon as these 6 phantoms took shape, they darted like lightning toward the 6 directions of Hirokyō. In an instant, towering pillars rose from the ground, seemingly trapping all of Hirokyō within and forming a massive dual arena. This scene, doesn't it look a bit familiar? Even though it's just a phantom, the scene before us looks no different from the dueling grounds of Yamatai. Now, all of Hirokyō is shrouded with these. Everyone, be careful. Now, Kaido no Masakado's power comes from the usurper god, and it may take one's mind. For a moment, everyone found their minds flooded with uncontrollable, dark and violent thoughts. The frightening thing is, they aren't without origin. No one is a saint who hasn't harbored dark thoughts. Yet those long-forgotten notions are now magnified. lingering without end. Outside the estate, the sounds of commotion rose. The entire city was filled with a restless, uneasy atmosphere. Who goes there? Master, all of Hankill is in chaos, and conflicts have erupted around the Minamoto estate as well. Master, give the order. Let them witness the might of the Ghost Armory and know that we won't tolerate their recklessness here. The Minamoto Onmyoji who spoke wore a slightly scarlet expression, completely different from his usual demeanor. Nonsense. Onikiri flicked his thumb against the hilt, and the blade was about to be drawn. Stop. Ichigozen commanded in a stern voice, and the frost blossoms quickly bloomed beneath her feet, spreading across the ground. A shadowy presence faintly permeating the air, once invisible to the naked eye, now has nowhere to hide in the icy wind. They entwine and cling to every living being, then take root deep within. Like mycelium growing on insects, it draws out the host of reason until they become mere puppets of violent emotion. Pure white snow-colored gentians bloomed, and the malice eroding everyone's minds melted away like thawing snow. And the bone-chilling cold, a gentle power seeped into everyone's heart, instantly bringing clarity to their minds and sweeping away all violence and agitation. Strange. What was that just now? It seems that this dual arena shrouding Heian is just like the one in Yamatai, able to awaken the darkest thoughts within people's hearts, trapping them in endless conflict. If all of you can feel the influence of the malice, then ordinary people without spiritual power will find it even harder to resist. We should still intervene as soon as possible to prevent more people from getting hurt. My purification power can temporarily resist this erosion from the dueling ground. Please, everyone hold fast to your true selves. Join me in forming a formation and let's first dispel the malice within the city. Thanks to the efforts of all Onmyoji, Taiga's soul, a sin has been successfully defeated. Guided by Yukikoze, everyone formed their own formation that began the purification of the city's violent aura. Minamoto was the first to send out the Ghost Armory and Onmyoji, moving through the streets and alleys of Heian to control the conflicts that had already arisen. Just dealing with this emotional pollution has already consumed a great deal of energy. In a short time, I'm afraid it will be very difficult for us to approach Taito no Masakato's true form.
But why did Taito no Masakato bring the dual arena of Yamatai to Heian?
Those 6 shadows are the 6 shadow clones of Taito no Masakato. Once, Taito no Masakato killed the usurper god Okuninushi in Yamatai, using these 6 shadow clones to forever seal him within the dual arena. Now, in Heian, he has created 6 shadow clones to replicate the Yamatai dual arena, intending to make all beings in Heian fight endlessly in this world. So, this is his revenge? You don't seem to think much of this approach. This actually sounds more like the usurper god's hobby. The crimes committed by the god slayer now are no different from those of the usurper god, which is rather lamentable. When we were in Yamatai, we also saw that true dual arena. In the past, that place was plagued by constant wars and rarely saw peace. The power born from those battles nourished Okuninushi, who stood atop the dual arena. Perhaps Taito no Masakato is now also trying to strengthen himself in this way, In short, if we really turn on each other within the city as he wishes, Heian will fall without a fight. I'll return to the Fujiwara residence first and inform the family head of the details. There is no need. Everyone looked outside in astonishment, only to see Fujiwara Michinaga leisurely walking into the Minamoto residence, holding a cult.
When are we gonna get him as a new Onmyoji? I mean, his design looks cooler than Same.
I apologize for visiting without prior notice, but given the urgency of the situation, I'm sure Minamoto no Yorimitsu-sama will understand. As everyone's here, there's no need to say anything pointless. I'm afraid Master Same might misunderstand and think I'm a rude brute who only knows how to charge in recklessly. Master Michinaga, you're too kind. I thought you returned home to rest and recover. Have you regained your strength so quickly? The colossal figure in the sky is far too conspicuous. It's hard not to notice. Now that I've seen it, I can't just pretend nothing happened. The Onmyoji of the Fujiwara have also begun helping with the purification of the malice spreading throughout Honokiri. Fujiwara clan leader, you've arrived just in time. The 6 shadow clones of Taro no Masakata represent his true self and together construct this illusory dueling ground. To defeat Taro no Masakata, you must first defeat his 6 shadow clones. Only then can you raid the realm of the dueling ground and weaken his power. The sooner we act, the better. That's why we need everyone here to work together, split into several groups, and defeat them separately. How much of the original power does each of the Taito no Masakato's clones possess? We still can't be certain, but one thing is clear, whether compared to the Taito no Masakato at his peak, or the one currently in the heavens, the power is much weaker. Each time a shadow clone is defeated, the influence of the arena's illusion will also diminish accordingly. Perhaps we can all go to the first shadow clone together, then gradually split up to better scout the enemy's strengths and weaknesses. First, we could probe the enemy's true strengths together. Second, the difficulty of defeating these shadow clones should gradually decrease. Master Samaz is absolutely right. In my opinion, we should proceed with this plan. Now they're agreeing so readily at a time like this. Otokudo and his soldiers are still outside the city. Once the problem of the malevolent aura is initially resolved, the Onmyoji from the 3 major clans in the Ghost Armory will be able to break free and guard the city gates. Please make arrangements in advance to avoid getting caught up in another prolonged fight if the situation changes, which would prevent us from helping in time. A corner on the outskirts of Heian-kyo. The group set out together for the location of one of Taro no Masakato's shadow clones. According to the investigation, this is currently the spot with the weakest spiritual power among them. In the distance, you can already see the swallowtail butterfly banners of the army led by Otokudo, but they are just silently waiting in place, not moving at all. Otokudo and his skeleton army don't seem to have any intention of joining the battle for now. Has Taito no Masakato not given them orders yet? Why? Now, with malice running rampant in Heian-kyo, Otokudo and his army entering the city should also be affected in the same way. Maybe Taito no Masakato wants to wait for chaos to erupt in the city first, and after we've exhausted our strength, we can reap the benefits. However, this doesn't seem like his style either. This Taito no Masakato looks quite different from the one in the sky. Although he is just a phantom, you can vaguely make out his appearance and clothing. They all look like a young man. Perhaps each shadow clone of Taito no Masakato represents a different stage of his life. This one is still a youth, so his spiritual power is a bit weaker than the other shadow clones.
At the center of this phantom, there seems to be something solid. Did he use such an item to create this clone?
That's right. This item must hold great significance for him, carrying an important memory. Perhaps we can catch a glimpse of what he was like in the past. Kaido no Masakata as a youth left a deep impression. Many people admire him, and he truly is someone worthy of respect. Sometimes I wonder if, as he grew into a young man, he rarely experienced defeat. Even if he did, he always managed to reclaim victory in the end. Could someone like that also lose their original purpose and become what people call the mad? The head of the Minamoto family didn't always look the way he does now. That's what it looks like to me. And he doesn't need you to tell him that. At that moment, the shadow slowly turned toward the group approaching him. On a pitch-black face, 2 red lights suddenly flared up. He saw us, prepared to face the enemy. Inside held Kyo.
Harry, come over here. There's someone with a mask throwing beans.
A grand folk festival was in full swing. In an open space beside the shrine, a boy wearing a demon mask was tossing beans to the passing children. He was very tall, with broad shoulders and a strong, upright build. Even dressed simply and with his face hidden behind a mask, he still stood out in the crowd. The boy was clearly skilled in martial arts, and the scars on his body showed he was often on the battlefield. So, paired with that mask, he really did look a bit fierce and intimidating.
Demons out, fortune in.
The boy muttered words under his breath, saying blessings as he scattered the beans. The children weren't afraid of the demon mask and deliberately ran up to him, hoping to get a bit of good luck. Some of the naughtier ones even run close and then dart away, trying to mess with him a bit. But what's strange is that no matter where they stand, the beings always seem to find them, as if they have eyes, and end up landing right on them.
Big brother, you're amazing. How do you know it was thanks to me? Don't say that. If Mama came to you on its own, maybe it's because you've got a little unicorn to you.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's scary. What's there to be afraid of? Even if there really are little demons, you've still got me here. Who are you? Me? I'm the big On.
He suddenly struck a pose like a hungry tiger pouncing, startling the children. Then everyone burst out laughing.
Don't be scared. Mama had already chased away the demons. Even if there are some left, I'll protect you. And someday in the future, you'll be able to protect yourselves too.
The children didn't take it seriously. After playing for a while longer, they ran off laughing. The masked boy watched as they disappeared into the crowd, but was suddenly distracted by something unusual in the distance.
Huh? That?
A group of aristocratic youths in lush splendor strode arrogantly into the festival grounds. The swallowtail butterfly crest of their clothing made it clear they were tied-up descendants.
No wonder it's so noisy here. Turns out all the poor people are gathering in this spot today. Pile of junk, blocking the whole road.
He suddenly lashed out with a kick, toppling the offering stand piled with mochi by the roadside.
Don't bother worrying about that. If you only offer this kind of thing for the god, How could you expect them to bless you?
Hey, you! Although Onmyoji may look plain, it is made from precious rice. The person arranging them on the offering stand felt truly reluctant and couldn't help but want to complain. The arrogant young man shot a contemptuous glance, and the undisguised malice in his eyes made everyone around him too angry to speak.
Besides, if the gods really loved you, they wouldn't have let you be born into a family like this.
But he's a little brat.
Oh, I don't think so. The questioning voice from behind made him instinctively turn his head, only to see a fierce demon mask right in front of him.
There's a demon, there's an evil demon here. Ow!
The hard fortune beams rattled as they poured down from the sky, pelting them like a rainstorm and making it impossible to open their eyes. Before they could react, everyone's knees were forcefully kicked by this mysterious demon, one after another, and in an instant, they were all kneeling on the ground. They were facing the overturned altar table, and amidst the mess, even the finest fabrics were now covered in dust.
It seems that no matter how precious the divine offering is, it can't make the gods bless people like you.
Only then did the Taita youth realize that what stood before them wasn't some evil spirit, but just a prison-wearing demon. Regaining some of their confidence, they scrambled awkwardly to their feet and glared at the newcomer once again.
And who are you to think you can lecture us? Just wait, Tata would never let a brazen, rebellious little life like you get away with this. Oh, really?
To his surprise, the masked boy showed no fear at all. Instead, he laughed heartily, then lifted his mask to reveal a handsome face. Hearing you say that, I'm actually looking forward to it.
Taita no Masakado? Hey, what are you doing here?
Your stance is unstable. One light blow and you'll be flat on the ground. With such laziness, do you really have the nerve to flaunt the title name and swagger around outside? He picked up the lifelike demon mask and waved it in front of the other's eye. If a single mask scares you out of your wits, how will you ever face the enemy on the battlefield?
Taita no Masakado, don't get too arrogant. Even if you're the clan leader's son, the future of the Taita clan may not be yours for the taking. A few days ago, the clan elder was already discussing stripping you of your position as young master. I don't mind going back to report to him and add fuel to the fire for you.
Go ahead, don't worry about me at all. However, if the clan elder questions me, I'll tell him everything you did today, down to the last detail. Of course, besides that, I promise to spice things up and give you some juicy details. What do you think?
You.
And since you mentioned the young master, it just reminded me of something. I'm going to undertake the Fusunomitama trial today. I need to report this to the clan elder, so why don't we just go together?
Fuji no Mitama, when do you plan to start?
Today is the day.
Taita no Masakado, do you have a death wish? That spirit's cursed. Everyone who's ever tried to master it, whether they succeeded or not, either went mad or died.
Others may not be able to lift this spirit, but that doesn't mean I can. At the very least, I'm willing to give it a try. Well, will you go with me to meet the clan elders or not?
I will argue with you today. But let me give you a word of advice. Since you're the young master of the Taita clan, you should at least pay attention to the kind of people you associate with. Didn't you see that genius shrine maiden from the Minamoto clan? When you return to the city, that Minamoto jewel carries herself with such dignity and restraint, earning everyone's respect and admiration. At the very least, he probably wouldn't be mingling in the bustling streets with commoners like you do. We still have important matters to attend to, so we'll be leaving first. If you want to keep hanging around here, suit yourself.
They seemed to speak with great confidence, but in the end, they left in a hurry after throwing out a threat that lacked any real conviction. Hearing his words, Tadano Masakado was reminded of the grand festival held in Heian-kyo that day. The aristocrats worship the gods differently from commoners. Offerings are made from new rice and rare delicacy, and the shrine maidens, dressed in solemn attire, hold sacred wands and pray for blessing. He returned home victorious, striding through the city gate with flair. His style clashed with the festival atmosphere, drawing countless eyes. Meanwhile, the focus of another gaze was on the most luxurious paladin at the festival, where the Minamoto clan's genius shrine maiden sat, like a jewel presented in a precious box. So dazzling yet so radiant. This is what the most esteemed heir of the four great clans should look like. Just then, the Minamoto jewel cast a brief glance at entering the curtain. No matter their clan, status, age, or temperament, they were so different, yet so alike. He could sense that maybe they were the same kind of people. The Minamoto jewel probably isn't something she wanted for herself either. If she had the chance to ride into battle, she might even become a rival worthy of me. Suddenly, Tadano Masakado felt someone tug at the corner of his robe.
Big brother, so you're Tadano Masakado.
Tadano Masakado crouched down, meeting his gaze at eye level. That's right, you actually know my name. Looks like I'm doing pretty well in Heian-kyo.
On the day of the festival in Heian-kyo, I was by the city gate and saw you on the road. I've heard so many stories about you, and now I know you really can protect. So, what you said before about us being able to protect ourselves, is that really true?
Of course, by then, if you run into a situation like today again, you'll be able to teach them a lesson yourself. Don't be fooled by how scary they look. They're actually all just empty suits.
But the adults say they're all aristocrats and we can afford to mess with them.
But you know me, I'm even better than they are. Today, the gods did not stand with you, nor did they stand with them.
But you stand with us.
Maybe in the future there will be a time when I need you to stand by my side, will you?
It will.
Tadano Masakado reached out and flicked him lightly on the forehead. I wait for that day. Come on, let's clean up everything on the ground. I'll take these dirty go-ahead mochi away later. I'll bring you some fresh ones to swap, okay?
Sure.
Main house of the Taida clan. Deep within the family estate, in a forbidden area rarely visited, the divine artifact, Mitama, is enshrined. It is said that only those who pass the artifact's trial can earn the recognition of Mitama and become its master. Although Mitama is called a divine artifact, it is also infamous for its sinister nature. It is said to require the wielder's blood and drives each of its masters to madness.
Sounds similar to the Muramasa sword, don't you think? Yeah.
Taido no Masakado, have you made up your mind? This isn't child's play. I already know the price I must pay and the dangers I will face.
But the way the clan elder hesitates again and again, could it be that you're thinking of backing out at the last moment? Arrogant youth. Since I've agreed, whoever obtains Futsunomitama will become the head of the Taira clan, so there's no reason to go back on my word. But do you know that Futsunomitama will test not only your body, but also your heart? I'm not afraid of whatever trial it might pose to my heart. Besides, if this spirit truly has a will of its own, who's testing who might not be so clear? Rebel. Very well. You should go into the forbidden ground and learn your lesson. Futsunomitama must be powered by the user's fresh blood, though it is a divine artifact. Any tool that requires blood to sustain itself carries a certain degree of malice.
And y'all finna go through with this. Really? It wants blood. You need to freaking destroy that or leave it alone.
Do you really think that, in all these years, not a single member of the Taira clan has managed to pass the trial of Futsunomitama? Think carefully, child. Obtaining this spear is only the beginning. I've heard that anyone who can wield Futsunomitama will become a hero whose name echoes through history. How will I ever know if I'm not the one whose name will be remembered for generations unless I try? With that, it seemed he had finally lost his patience, or perhaps he had finally found the right moment. The elder couldn't even see his movements clearly before Taira no Masakado had already bypassed the many layers of barriers set by the Taira clan before the forbidden ground, disappearing from his sight. The century-old seal was nothing before Taira no Masakado, as if nothing in this world could stand in his way. The direct bloodline of the main family has always been this way. The kid's father wasn't exactly worry-free when he was young, either. Futsunomitama might just be waiting for a master like you. Futsunomitama lies in sleep within the Taira clan's forbidden land, now awakened by a young challenger. With this sinister divine weapon as a heart of the flames, a sea of fire ignited within the forbidden land. If you wish to become the warrior chosen by the divine spear, you must first cross this sea of fire and endure the burning of the blades. Taira no Masakado formed a shield with his spiritual power, like sunlight pouring down, becoming his armor. His golden red flames seemed to merge with the sea of fire, making it impossible to tell them apart. A voice suddenly echoed from deep within his heart, coaxingly asked him, "Why have you come?" "I will take up Futsunomitama." "Why?" "I love the battlefield and conflict. I need a weapon that matches me." The four great clans have become corrupt and stagnant. A weapon that can clear the air is needed. The vision of the realm of Tokyo is still distant. A weapon that can bring hope is needed. In the deepest part of the illusion, within a sea of fire, the mighty lion crouched, rising to its feet. Before it, a giant spear lay quiet. Futsunomitama. Just as he stepped forward to pick up the giant spear, the lion suddenly opened its bloody maw, and its deafening roar nearly made the flames tremble. "Looks like I'll have to get past you first." But it was as if he didn't see the lion's sharp fangs and claws at all. He acted decisively, swiftly, drawing the long spear. The lion nearly bit off his arm, but he instantly reversed his grip and blocked with Futsunomitama. It's even harder to handle than I imagined, but it's still a fine spear. He engaged the lion in battle. The blade of Mitama is too long. While it is unmatched in might and threatens its foes, it can also easily injure its wielder. Taito no Masakado was initially restrained, narrowly escaping the lion's jaws several times. As he became trapped and hindered at every turn, the flame soared higher and the lion's form seemed to swell, grow stronger when facing weakness. Interesting, but not exactly honorable. In that case, suddenly his attack shifted, becoming bold and sweeping. For a moment, Taito no Masakado no longer cared whether Mitama might wound him. All he could see was forward, forward, forward. If you're stronger than it, it will only grow weaker. Kill it, and you'll survive. I won't back down. A blazing fire burned in his heart. Perhaps it was idealism, perhaps ambition, or perhaps his usual stubbornness and madness. Taito no Masakado gripped the blade of Mitama tightly, with blood soaking the spear shaft that Mitama radiated a fierce light. In an instant, the flames burning in his heart manifested around him, swallowing the sea of fire that once existed. For a long time afterward, no one knew what had happened within the forbidden ground, until a flash of blood-red light pierced the dawn sky, as if a second sun had risen on the horizon. That ominous glow flickered, then finally faded into silence. The Taita clansmen, sensing something amiss, hurried over and gathered before the forbidden ground, holding their breath as they waited. Did he succeed? Or has his young life already been lost in the trial? At last the young man appeared once more at dawn, divine weapon in hand. He passed the trial of Mitama. I have passed the trial of Mitama and conquered this ominous blade. The four great clans have ruled Heian-kyo for so long that they have gradually forgotten their original mission and aspirations, becoming greedy for pleasure and neglecting the fact that demons still run rampant and enemies surround them. Here, I swear upon this spear with my own blood. One day I will create an eternal paradise where there is no distinction between noble and humble.
Well, gee, we saw how that turned out.
Realm of Tokoyo. On the long blade of Mitama, strange blood-red pattern slowly flowed. Taito no Masakado's hand, gripping the spear, is drenched in blood. He has already offered his own blood to this ominous divine weapon. Everyone who meets him feels the same way. You seem to have been granted power far beyond that of humans by Mitama. But this power was unsettling, yet he laughed with radiant confidence, his expression shining just like the rising sun. Meanwhile, at his side hung the mask from a folk festival. The crowd erupted in cheers. It was a moment of glory. The young master of the Taita clan raised Mitama high, and without a doubt, he would lead his clan to heights never reached before. But at that time, they hadn't realized yet. The demon mask from the festival, in a way, also foretold the young man's future. Just like the divine artifact Mitama, its fame and infamy are two sides of the same coin. When the empire falls, he will lead the nation he created toward the grand finale.
Man, they got me reading all the freaking story. We can't get to the battle first and then I'll come back to this? Ugh.
Inside Heian-kyo, the Yamatai army pressed at the borders, and the four major clans fought desperately for days, yet there was still no outcome. The leaders of the four major clans gathered together, and the atmosphere was deeply solemn. Although Yamatai is just a small foreign nation, its army is filled with countless demons and spirits. Every time they invade, Heian-kyo suffers heavy losses. During the last retreat, many Onmyoji in the clan were killed or wounded. If we can't resolve this issue completely, I fear we won't be able to carry on in the future. If I remember correctly, the Tartar Prince has already led his troops outside the city, hasn't he? I can't stop him. Ever since he obtained Fusunomitama, his words have carried more and more weight. Even missions as dangerous as this can rally the entire clan at his call. Heh! Stop pretending to have a headache. You should be thrilled to entrust the clan to such a promising young man in the future. I've heard that whenever the Taita young master goes to war, victory is assured. What's more, now that he has the divine artifact on his side, his valor is extraordinary, almost godlike, and he's unstoppable. I suppose the soldiers who follow him have confidence in returning victorious because they have such a commander leading them. If that's the case, you definitely shouldn't say it in front of him. He's already arrogant enough. Sometimes I wish he'd taste defeat. If this keeps up, I think he'll want to lead the army all the way to Yamatai. Report. The head of the Taita family immediately stood up. What about it? My lord, it's a victory report. Lord Taito no Masakata, wielding Susuno Mitama, led the charge and won a great victory outside the city. Yamatai has already retreated. They shouldn't be back anytime soon. Taito family head, you just said you wanted your son to taste defeat, but when the messenger arrived, you couldn't take your eyes off him for a second. If he had wings, he'd probably have flown outside the city by now. Are you relieved now? It seems the son of a tiger is no ordinary cub. The young master of the Taita family is truly impressive. In any case, achieving such a great victory now is a good thing. After days of war, there can finally be a pause, allowing everyone to rest and recover. However, Yamatai may still invade again in the future. Regarding the matter we mentioned last time, everyone should make preparations early. As soon as these words were spoken, the heads of the families looked at each other, and the joy of victory on their faces faded a little. Let's discuss this later. It's almost time. I need to head to the city gate first. Taito no Masakata returned victorious, with citizens lining the city gate to welcome him. He has always enjoyed mingling with commoners, unlike some aristocratic youths who rely on their status, so he is even more popular among the people. Many people could call out his name, and children came forward with flowers, hoping to give them to him. The head of the Taita family and his wife, looking like any ordinary parents, waited at the city gate for his return. The young hero became the center of attention throughout the city, with celebrations, cheers, and dancing lasting until sunset. Nightfall on the Taita main residence. In the dungeon of the residence, several captives brought back from the battlefield by Taita no Masakata were being held. They were dressed in rags and covered in wounds. Rather than trained soldiers, they looked more like slaves forced onto the battlefield. You've all seen me on the battlefield, so you should know how I operate. The only reason you're still alive is because I want you to speak. We have nothing to tell you. You have no armor, no weapons, yet you were still sent to the battlefield. I don't believe your king is still worthy of your loyalty, but you no longer need to fear him. The captives lifted their downcast eyes and looked at Taito no Masakado, as if startled by his words. This is not Yamatai. This is Heian-kyo. What you should be worried about is not the threat from your homeland, but my blade. If you tell the truth, not only will I spare your lives, I will also protect you so you won't have to return to Yamatai. The captives exchanged glances, hesitating, but they had no other choice. After a long silence, they chose one among them to speak. Master, we are not soldiers of Yamatai. We are merely slaves of Yamatai. The entire nation of Yamatai is built upon a massive arena, where the fighting never ceases for a single day. Slaves fight for the amusement of commoners. Commoners battle for the entertainment of aristocrats. Aristocrats compete for the pleasure of the ruler. Above the ruler, there is a deity whose power knows no bounds. The gods. We dare not speak the name of the deity, and matters concerning him are not for slaves like us to know. Even mentioning him here is terrifying. Perhaps if we reveal any secrets, judgment will be cast upon us immediately. I've never heard of such a god. But I still suggest you speak up as soon as possible. After all, it's still unknown whether the gods can reach Hankyo. But if you refuse to speak, you really will die by my hand. They also sustain the operation of this dual arena, and the slaughter within seems to increase their divine power as well. I see. The army of Yamatai has grown stronger and stronger through this endless cycle. Your soldiers, through endless life and death battles, have become savage and fierce, even willing to consort with demons. They even come from afar to wage unjust wars. This kind of war is like the struggle in a dual arena. There is never a day of rest. A single failure can't stop their advance, nor can 1,000 or 10,000. Because that is the rule of Yamatai. That is the law by which the dual arena operates. Tadano Masakata slowly exited the dungeon. He walked toward the family head's study, weighed down with worry, not knowing how to break the bad news to his father. Isn't there a way to end this once and for all? As his thoughts shifted, the metallic humming seemed to ring right by his ear. That is Fusuno Mitama, even though the spear was not by his side now. Tadano Masakata could still hear its voice. This sinister divine artifact has a bloodthirsty desire. On the battlefield, he can always feel it resonating with his own pounding heartbeat. He pushed open the study door, bowed to his father, who was seated at the desk, and then reported the information he had just obtained in the dungeon. The head of the Taito family pondered for a long time, but he didn't seem as surprised as Taito no Masakato had expected. What do you think? I want to lead the troops into battle. Since Yamatai won't stop their invasions, we can't just sit and wait for death. We just won a battle, and now we're pressing the attack. Maybe they're the ones with headaches now. Nonsense. The road of Yamatai is long. Although you've trained with me since childhood and have some battlefield experience, an expedition is completely different from defending a city. If Yamatai is truly the vicious place those captives described, where people are ruined in the arena every day, then leading an army there is no different from sending sheep into a tiger's den. They claim to have divine protection and every advantage. How do you expect to win? Are we just going to wait for them to attack Hankyo again? Father, you know my temperament. I can't just sit and wait like this. Actually, I've discussed this matter with the other 3 clan leaders before. According to their wishes, they hope to negotiate peace with Yamatai in the future. Peace talks in a place like Yamatai? It's questionable whether they can even send a proper envoy. Unless we completely defeat them, I don't see much hope. But we may have to pay a price. The Fujiwara clan leader suggested that the 4 clans each send a young member to Yamatai as a hostage. Let this hostage be the one to maintain peace between the 2 nations.
They go freaking off that hostage up there.
Did you all just agree with his opinion like that? At least I don't agree. If we choose a hostage from the 4 clans and they're weak in character, is sending them to their death.
Right.
If we send someone talented, it's sacrificing their future.
Right again.
But for now, there aren't any new proposals. Has a candidate for this hostage already been decided? There's been a long debate about who should be sent, but no conclusion has been reached. This matter may not be resolved in the short term, so don't let it weigh on your mind for now. This time, after your triumphant return, I'm very proud of you. I'm also at ease in trusting the future of the Taita clan to you. However, Taito no Masakato seemed to fall into deep thought, standing motionless where he was. A strong premonition surged in the heart of the Taito clan head. Just like when Taito no Masakato informed him that he was going to take part in the Fusunomikama trial. This only son, who had always been a bit arrogant since childhood, was probably about to say something shocking again. Why not let me be the hostage? I want to go to Yamatai.
Oh, so this how you became corrupted. You went up there and got stuck.
You're crazy. The head of the Taita clan slammed the table and stood up, but Taito no Masakato simply looked at him calmly, seemingly unmoved. Someone has to go, so why can't it be me? The future of the Taita clan rests on your shoulders. How can you go? How can it be you? Yes, the future of the Taita clan rests on my shoulders, but if Henkyo ceases to exist, what future would the Taita clan have? Even if I don't die in Yamatai, I could still die in the battles against Yamatai. Comparing the two, I still rather die at the moment. I choose to charge forward. You, you, now you've become more eloquent. I can't win an argument with you. You're getting more and more reckless. If your mother found out about this, she'd be so heartbroken and angry because you're so careless about your own future and life. I've thought about this seriously. It's not something I decided to do on a whim. Of course, any of the four clans could casually choose someone insignificant to go to Yamatai. So maybe this person died there, or maybe wasted their youth for years and finally returned to Hankyo. No one would care. But Yamatai is not completely united within. As long as I can spark internal strife in Yamatai, it might be possible to completely break this nation apart. Since I've seen the opportunity, it's hard for me to just let it slip away. Besides, if anyone can return alive from there, it will be me. You're being unrealistic and just arguing with me for the sake of it. An outstanding general, no matter the circumstances, should always strive to seize opportunities and create victory. I believe I am the one who can seize opportunity on the battlefield. Can you trust me? The Taita clan head gazed into his own son's eye. The determination, passion, the thirst for conquest in those eyes made it impossible for him to say no. Taito no Masakato always makes the impossible possible. He is the unparalleled genius of the Taita clan. Indeed, if anyone could make these things happen, it would be Taito no Masakato. But can he take the gamble? Does he dare to? This is the next head of the Taita clan. He is also his only child. However, it seems Taito no Masakato never gave him a choice. He had already placed all his chips on the table himself. There has always been a streak of madness in Taito no Masakato. He always likes to do what others cannot or dare not do. So far, few have truly called him a madman, only because he actually has the ability to back it up. I will discuss this matter with the other clan heads. What are young people thinking these days, one after another? All of them. Has anyone else volunteered to go to Yamatai as a hostage? Now you're finally being perceptive. Who else could it be but that Minamoto Jewel, Minamoto Yukihime, whom the old clan head cherishes above all else? Tadano Masakata recalled that fleeting glance from his youth, with the shrine maiden and the palanquin also volunteering to go as a hostage to that perilous land. It just happens to match his own thoughts. When did you see her? Actually, I can't say I've really met her. Maybe I caught a glimpse a few years ago. At that time, there was a festival in Heian-kyo. Do you think a few years is short? It's enough for a child to grow into a youth. Yukima's swordsmanship is outstanding, and her spiritual power is the best among this generation of Minamoto children. How many years has it been since the Minamoto produced such a genius? The head of the Minamoto clan refused her request no matter what, tried to persuade her for a long time, and finally made her give up. So you hope to persuade me to give up as well? Of course I hope you'll know when to retreat in the face of difficulty. For the Tata clan, for your mother and me, for yourself. My child, I ask you to reconsider. Tadano Masakado looked at his father. In that moment, the head of the Taida clan seemed to age suddenly. He may not disagree with what Tadano Masakado said, but whether, as the head of the family or as a father, he truly doesn't want his son to make such a decision. Tadano Masakado can understand him, but he can't obey. That's impossible. If Minamoto Yukihime hadn't been persuaded by the head of the Minamoto clan, I would have fought her for the position of hostage today, no matter what. Now that she has chosen a different fate, I have even less reason to give up. The head of the Taira family remained silent for a long time, and finally let out a sigh. Tadano Masakata has grown strong. He knows all too well that it's hard to keep an eagle in the nest. I'm always worried that one day you'll pay dearly for your reckless ways, yet I can never bring myself to go against your nature. The bloodline of the Tata clan carries an unwavering sense of obsession. Some achieve success because of this, while others descended into madness or destruction. This time I won't stop you, but I hope you remember what you once said. Child, you must come back alive, return to us and fulfill your heroic destiny that will be remembered for generations. Although the head of the Taira clan temporarily agreed to Tadano Masakato's request, the four great clans still debated the choice of hostage for a long time before finally reaching a decision. Hankyo and Yamatai each sent 2 rounds of envoys, thoroughly finalizing the treaty between the two nations. As long as the hostage remained in Yamatai, Yamatai would not send troops against Hankyo. The envoys from Yamatai claimed this was the command of their deity, Okunishi. On the day the hostage left the city, his only companions were a few of Tadano Masakato's guards and friends who had grown up with him since childhood. The 4 great clans and many commoners are gathered outside the city to see him off. Unlike the joy of his triumphant return months ago, a summer mood hung over the crowd. Only the one they were sending off wore an expression of calm, even hope. Father, mother, please don't be sad for me. Before mounting his horse, he embraced his parents one last time. He smiled calmly, becoming the only bright presence among the crowd in the golden glow of the morning sun. Just give me your healing flood. This is not a farewell with no return. Please believe me, I will return in triumph, bearing the glory of victory. Yeah, you're gonna get stuck up there.
Even if it may be a long time from now. But that day will come eventually. The young general did not linger for this sorrowful scene. He raised his riding crop and set out on his journey. It was as if he was not heading toward an uncertain future as a hostage, but toward a destiny filled with brilliant light. Yamatai, Demon's Tomb. This is the lowest level of the Yamatai duel arena. You can't see the sun or moon in the sky, and there's no clear line between day and night. All the slaves live in dim light, and when sunlight finally shines on them, death may come in the very next moment. The slaves in Demon's Tomb don't need to kill each other. They're rounded up and sent into the arena, forced to face wild beasts and monsters with no restraints. Hey, kid from the outside, what are you speaking of? Didn't you hear the horns outside? It's almost time to go on stage again. Me? I'm just thinking. There you go again, saying things nobody understands. At first I thought a pampered aristocrat like you wouldn't survive a single night in Demon's Tomb, but you've made it this far. Just relying on your fists won't get you far here, so you better use your head whenever you can. I have no idea what kind of diabolic curse you're under. I heard you even volunteered to come here as a hostage. At first, I thought you were an idiot. Turns out I was wrong. Didn't expect me to be smart. Didn't expect you to be such a fighter. Who in their right mind would willingly come to a place like this to suffer? In the end, it might sound like an insult, but it's as if you were bored. You're more suited to this hellhole than most of us. When you fight, your eyes never lie. I can tell you're genuinely excited. Cardinal Masakato lowered his head to look at his wrist and ankle, now bound by heavy shackles, his precious freedom lost. As soon as he arrived in Yamatai, he was forcibly separated from his escort. Only his childhood friend Senko, who came with him, was thrown into the demon's tomb alongside him. The people of Yamatai deprived Futsunomitama and offered it to their king. A slave can't wield such a conspicuous weapon. The only outcome is to be deprived by the nobles. Cardinal Masakato didn't resist at this moment. Like all the slaves here, he was only allowed to pick up chipped swords and blades when entering the arena, fighting for his life. There's no civilization in the duel arena. Winner lives, loser dies. That's the only rule. Those with enough victories can advance to higher ranks as long as you keep winning. Even the lowest slave can become the most honored king. Hasn't anyone ever tried to challenge all of this? Hasn't anyone ever tried to ascend into that supreme throne through the duel arena and then change the rules that once tormented and humiliated them? Maybe someone has won before. Anyway, I've seen it. What you're saying sounds like you're making up a story. If someone is truly fit to be king, why would they care about the lives of those beneath them? Wouldn't it be fine if you just enjoy being king in comfort? Even if there are still people suffering just like he did back then. So what? You're really something else. Someone should suffer just like he did back then, or else all his hard work and sacrifice would be for nothing, wouldn't it? Of course, it shouldn't be like this. It's obviously more important for everyone to find happiness than for just one person to be happy. This is a sad and cruel cycle. Someone should put an end to it. I don't believe that everyone forgets the promises they made at the foot of the mountain once they reach the top. That's easy for you to say. Why don't you try it yourself? I'm planning to give it a try. The slave stared at him in a daze. At first, he thought Taito no Masakato was just boasting. But when he saw those eyes, he changed his mind. Taito no Masakato's gaze was so resolute, it bordered on fanaticism. He wholeheartedly believed he could accomplish this unprecedented feat. You, even if you never die after this, there's no way you could ever succeed. Above the king, there are still gods. Everyone who provoked the gods dies. Even if you beat them, then you don't have to die, alright? If the god loses, then the one who should die is him, isn't it? You're seriously crazy. Do you even know your own limits? And you still want to fight a god? I thought the rule here was that the winner takes all. So what? A god can be dragged down from the head of the fight being fair and square. That only shows you have no real faith in the rules you created. Such a thing isn't worthy of being called a god. He's nothing but a usurper, hiding behind the god of the gods. You're unbelievably good. Maybe you really will become the kind of person you say you will. I just hope I'll still be alive to see that day. Of course you can live to see that day. You can witness that day with me. The sound of the horn blew again, bringing this brief conversation to an end. It was as if they had never gathered together at all. Each of them emerged into the lines of slavery, and the guards herded them into the arena like sheep. The beasts are already watching, waiting for the day when fresh struggle and death are offered up. A few days later. Looks like he's awake. Is that so? Good. Looks like the most dangerous part is over. Am I dead? No, you are titled Namasakaba. Since I can still see you, that means I'm not dead, because title Namasakaba doesn't die. Should I thank you for trusting me so much? But this time, you really are badly hurt. Counting today, you've been unconscious for over 3 days. We managed to get some healing herbs, but whether you pull through or not depends on luck. The good news is, you're pretty lucky. Since you've made it through this round, in 2 more days, you can leave Demon's Tomb with them. What? We've survived here long enough, and so have you. The Demon's Tomb. All you have to do is survive to ascend to Shackle's trial. Should I call that easy or cruel? You guys aren't just messing with me, are you? Why are you messing with me? Back in the duel arena, you stood behind me and took a blow for me. I really appreciate it. But I'm still curious, why did you save me? Because that's what you always do. Everyone here only hopes to survive themselves. As for the people around them, either they'll die tomorrow and don't matter, or they'll kill you tomorrow. There's your enemy. But you always want everyone to survive. In the duel arena, I remember what you said that night. I felt that someone like you shouldn't die in a place like this. If a miracle really does happen here in the future, I'd be willing to be a part of it. Since we've come this far, I might as well be honest with you. The reason I'm doing all this is indeed for the miracle you mentioned. To me, it's not a miracle. It's simply my goal. For that, I need an army. So I hope as many people as possible will follow me. See, that's exactly the kind of person you are. I'm willing to take risks for this, because I'll pay any price for my goal. Even so, do you still want to become a part of it? I'm willing. Right now, I just hope more people can survive. If there were an army like that, I'd be willing to be one of its soldiers. Come to think of it, I haven't asked your name yet. Aristocrats break the rules all the time, and they always have tricks up their sleeve. I don't have a name. But does that mean you'll be my lord from now on? Why don't you give me it? It seems that what you guard is purer than what I do. The true guard. Let's call it Mummy. How about that? Good name. I like it. Well then, for a title of my Picard, starting today, including yourself, your army Now have 3 people. Not a bad way to start, right? There will be more in the future. Yes, maybe one day you'll be a fine general, too. Tadano Masakado survived the demons too, but he was not satisfied. He never forgot his original vision. Slaves remain slaves because they are bound by shackles both physically and mentally. As long as you first break the shackles on your mind, for the day the chains on your hands and feet break, you'll be fall. Anyone who survives in this relentless hit, lacking food, clothing, and training with a foreign soldier, they simply never had a chance to grasp a true weapon, nor did they ever realize who their spear should be pointed at. When an idealist wields a sword, he pursues his ideas through conquest. Tadano Masakado, from the moment you raised me and entrusted me with your blood, I foresaw this day would come. Now I am locked away by the king of Yamata, the silent ornament in his palace. The stretch of time feels even longer than when I waited for you in the forbidden land of the title. Only the echo of your heart brings me comfort, letting me know you have no intention of stopping free. I'll wait for the day you pick me up again. When that time comes, perhaps we'll foresee an opponent even more suited to you and me. Tadano Masakado stepped out of Demon's Tooth, his stride always moving upward, never paused. Unlike the countless familiar stories that once unfolded here, Tadano Masakado was not walking alone. From Demon's Tooth to Shackle's trial, and then to Noble's trial, with every step he climbed on the dueling platform, more people gathered behind him. At first, only his friend Senko, who came with him to Demon's Tooth. Later, Mamoru joined as well. Then, there were the weak ones Tadano Masakado saved from the beast. Following them came their great foes, family. When he entered the sight of the aristocrat, those gathering around him were no longer just soldiers, but also power and wealth began to appear. The duels of Noble's trial are even more complex. Win or lose, life or death, they could all be determined by the dealings of the clan behind you. Every aristocrat in the arena has undergone strict training since childhood. Their weapons and armor are all crafted by the finest artisans of Himata. You are truly the one suited for this arena. I've never seen anyone like you, never feeling fear and enjoying the fight. Savage combo makes you crave blood even more, and victory crowns you with glory. Money, power, everything you need, I can provide it for you, as long as you fight for my clan in the arena and offer me shelter. But Tadano Masakado did not agree to his request. On the dueling ground, they stood on opposite sides. Tadano Masakado and his followers beheaded the aristocrat and ultimately claimed all the clan's wealth. Money and power are the most useless things in this duel arena. These two things have long since corrupted them, making it impossible for them to become true warriors. If you can't become our soldier, then become a soldier in our slaves. By then, everything they possess will become spoils for the victor. The name Tadano Masakado gradually spread throughout the duel arena, not because he was a hostage for the Dixie King's guilt, but because following him meant survival. As long as you follow Tadano Masakado, you will achieve victory and finally put an end to this seemingly endless hellish existence. But on the other hand, where there are winners, there are losers. If someone survives, someone else will inevitably perish. Standing opposite Tadano Masakado, the only outcome is death. With one hand he raises hate, with the other he brings destruction. He walks this bloody road with absolute confidence. And now he finally has an army of his own, just as he planned from the very beginning. Your actions speak louder than your words. The king of Yamatai has seen what you've done, and he is alarmed by it. He won't allow an outsider to rise to a high position take his fate. He's already plotting to get rid of you to protect himself. This was to be expected. After all, there was always going to be a day like this between us. There must be a deadly duel between the king of Yamatai and me. I came here with this subtlety from the very beginning. While his awakening came far too late. What if he threatens to send troops to him killed? What would you do? As I said before, he is my rival. I don't need to listen to him, and I don't need to make any deals with him. Once he becomes a soul claimed by my blade, every promise he makes me, I can fulfill them myself. You're my master. You don't need to prove that to me. You only need to pick me up and point me at your enemy. My blade will drink their blood on its own. But the slaves who have followed you this far, they are not like you. Fightonomasa would have snapped out of his deep saddle. The next day, he will go to challenge the king of Yamato. Meanwhile, all the slaves will be gathered and led by Senko and Momo. Will storm the entire arena. Now he is qualified to start among the aristocrats of Yamatai, but he still chooses to return to the slaves and live with them. Fightonomasa hopes this can convey strength and resolve to them, telling them that this time the outcome will be completely different. My lord, did you hear it? There is quiet, soft in the evening wind. They panic over the uncertain fate that awaits them tomorrow. Fightonomasa stood up and walked toward where the slaves were gathered. Senko and Momo followed behind, forming a silent and steady triumph. Tomorrow, I will enter the arena ahead of you, all to face the king of Yamato. I will cut off his head as a symbol of the beginning of a new era. I don't want to be the king of Yamato, but if that's the only way to end the painful karma here, once and for all, I will do whatever it takes. And without your help, I wouldn't be able to achieve this. A person's life should ultimately be in their own hands. You are fighting alongside me for your own fate as well. So, no matter if the ending is life or death, I will walk ahead. If I fail, of course you can return to your former life. But you can also keep moving forward, because once the shackles are broken, it's hard to put them back together. This is also what I promised you from the very beginning. You only need to put this into practice tomorrow. In a corner, someone quietly began to sing a battle song, one that Fightonomasa had brought from Hankyo, a song with a title clan. The slaves of Yamatai rewrote the lyrics, giving the song a mark unique to this land. Soon, more people joined in. Mamoru and Senko began to sing along, and eventually, even Fightonomasa joined the chorus. Dawn arrives with the song. Friends, the time to set out has come. Break the shackles, tomorrow is yours. Tomorrow is ours. For the first time in Yamatai's history, the slaves joined hands and shattered the cage that had imprisoned them. They were amazed at how easy it was, for their numbers were so great that every obstacle seemed small and fragile before their combined strength. And Fightonomasa lived up to expectations, slaying the king of Yamatai with his own hands. The born king had finally claimed his throne. The war song echoes through Yamatai. A new tomorrow is about to arrive.
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad that long story is over. The annoying part of trying to get teams. Yeah, we just gonna borrow somebody's. I don't know my Sakado. Oh, let's hope we get somebody. Need a full team for this. Need a full team for this, or at least 4 people.
世の安寧を乱す者。バイ。
Okay, we good to go. We need a Kagura for this. We're gonna the heck? Get rid of that. I'm up here trying to get my characters together. Everybody's already got this stuff.
世の安寧を乱す者。
Okay, this is gonna be the last one I record.